Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy, welcome to my world. So, Raspberry Pi, Ubuntu desktop. That's what we're all about again this evening. So let's just try and cap off what we're going to have a go at today. So this community created a tool called Desktopify, and its purpose is to convert Ubuntu Server images for the Raspberry Pi into a full desktop experience, and they do a fine job allowing you to choose any of the Ubuntu desktop flavors, be that official Ubuntu or Ubuntu Maltese Ubuntu or whatever, and it all works very well. However, it wasn't quite complete, and Desktopify has somewhat come to prominence just recently, so it's probably best that we finish it off and add the final tweaks and get all of that hardware acceleration stuff working. So that is the purpose of this stream. We're going to go through some remaining changes in Desktopify, explain what they do in terms of enabling GPU and Firefox acceleration, getting those all committed, and then I have a couple of Raspberry Pi here, we'll get to that in a moment, where we can test that. So that is the purpose. I like your background, especially that Microsoft badge. Says Big Pod. Yes, I have been to the Microsoft campus in Redmond and Bellevue, and I think, is it that way? Yeah, that one is from Bellevue, I think. Right, okay. So, I tell you what, let's see if stuff's working. Let's see. So let's go over here. Oh my goodness, look at that. This is what wasn't working last night. This is the new embedded chat, which is easier for me to read. It's the whole point I had that in there. Big letters, I can see them with my glasses and everything. So, welcome back to the chat, everyone. If you're new here, please do say hello in chat and introduce yourselves. We're a friendly crowd. It's always good to welcome new people and say hello to old friends. And with that, hello, it's Worlds, not Streamlabs OBS. No, this is full-on proper OBS with Streamlabs integration. Right, hello Mrs. News, hello Big Pod, welcome back. It Swirls, the real Cody Dragon, hello, welcome back. Henrik, hello again. You missed the intro, but we've just started, so literally we're just getting going. Hello Adam, your audio is about half a second ahead of the video. Everyone just comment on the whole audio stuff thing. It's a bit of a faff. But hello Lothar, hello Mandy, hello Rachel, welcome back Rachel, welcome to the stream again. Hello Paul. For those of you that are new here, do hit subscribe if you haven't already. It's always good to have new subscribers, keep you informed of. Hello Clive, welcome, thank you for the sub. And you have just kicked off the sub train. So down here we have two tuxes. This tux here, oh wait, this one, oh gosh, I can't point in the right places, but this little one here walking across to the big one over there, down there somewhere. Yeah, see if you can keep the sub train going. More subs, the more that keeps walking. Hello Big Daddy Linux, welcome to the stream. Right, okay, so we're basically going to go through some quick code review, explain how all of that Raspberry Pi hardware enablement stuff works, and then we'll do a quick bit of testing. So in chat, Real Cody the Dragon Rude says, do you think we'll ever get away to live stream with the Raspberry Pi 4? So the short answer to that question is that's an aspiration of mine. I would like to get to that point. I would like to get to the point where the Raspberry Pi 4 could be that second streaming PC. I'm a little ways off from that, but that's a little sort of thought at the back of my mind. I've been doing a lot of work with OBS Studio recently, and I understand it quite well now, so I've got a view as to how that might be possible. And they say we'd totally buy a video for Linux USB HDMI device if we could ever get it to live stream. So I've got a couple of projects in mind for the future. He reaches over here. So there's a case here that I've got. I don't know if I can get this in focus. Oh, there we go. It's a Raspberry Pi case that takes a camera module. Oh my goodness, somebody super chatted. That's never happened before. Leroy, thank you very much for the super chat. And thank you for coming back to the stream. I know you've been here before. Yes, we have super chat available now as well. So anyway, this case here enables you to put a camera module in the case. And I want to see if I can turn that and a Raspberry Pi and the original camera module into like a wireless camera device. So that's a, whoops, as he drops things on the floor, that's a project for the future. So Leroy, well done. You've just you're the inaugural super chatter. Thank you for that. That's quite good. Right then, okay, let's get on with this. Let's remember what buttons I have to push over here. So let's go to this one. There we go. So here's the project. So a lot of you will be familiar with this already. It's appeared on some other YouTube channels recently, a lot bigger than this one, which is always very gratifying. So let's just go through that. So if you like a little bit of Linux in your life, oh my gosh, Barrel and Blue, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the compliment, and thank you for the super chat. This is very unexpected. Welcome, thank you very much. Any super chats and stuff that this channel earns will pay for random gadgets like that case I've just shown you. I've got some ideas for the future about projects I want to do with the Pi and other stuff. So any money this channel makes, I'll be investing into random things that I think are cool to make projects with and share with you here. And if you've got ideas about what those projects should be, let me know in the comments below. Always interested. I've got about half a dozen or 10 maybe projects in mind, but I want to get to 20. Right, so first YouTube channel everyone else here wants to go and subscribe to is, oops, he moves into the correct virtual workspace. Let's try that again. There we go. Is this channel here. So Lee PSP Video. I will put links in the description of this video after the live stream. They're not there right now. But he did a video a few days ago using Desktopify to install Ubuntu Mate, and was suitably impressed, which is always pleasing, and then had some feedback as to how the experience could be further improved. Hello Dan, thank you for the sub. Oh my goodness, Dan, you've unlocked the shiny subtrain. So we have Octocat walking their way along to Tux at the moment. Only 10% of subscribers will get to do that. So that's the first time that's happened on stream. Anyway, Lee PSP, he does loads of videos. There was a really good one that came out this morning comparing the performance of different SD cards for the Raspberry Pi. Telling you which ones perform the best and are the most reliable. So that prompted me to buy a couple of SD cards, a different brand and model than I've got, because they looked really good. So everyone else, it's a great channel. He does almost daily videos, Raspberry Pi and Linuxy stuff. It's great. So he covered the whole Desktopify thing recently. Henrik, thank you very much for the super chat, Henrik. That's very kind. Oh my gosh, that's very kind. Thank you very much. That's extremely kind and surprising, but thank you for your generosity. So following on from that, a channel that I've been subscribed to for years, ETA Prime, did a follow-up video. Also using Desktopify to set up Ubuntu Mate, also saying good things, and they referenced a blog from a friend and colleague of mine. So they referenced this blog here. So Dido Amido is written by my friend and colleague Igor. We work together on the same team at Canonical. So he has some inside information here. So most of the information in this blog post is accurate, although Igor sort of really went big on his recommendations on what stuff needed to be installed in order to get all the hardware acceleration going. And we don't quite need all of that. So this is certainly where a lot of the inspiration for the completion of Desktopify comes from. So those are the citations and credits for this evening. 2 channels. If you're not subscribed to Lee PSP Video or ETA Prime, you should definitely subscribe. They're both making great stuff. ETA Prime is one of my favorites. Loads of cool stuff around retro gaming and using SBCs and cheap tablets and things for retro gaming projects. Right then. Yes. Okay, just having a quick look at chat there. Right, okay, yeah, Lee's very good. Yeah, okay, I'm glad there's consensus there. So coming back to the project, this is the GitHub project, and what I've done is I've cheated. I've actually I've made a bunch of code changes earlier today. So here's my code editor, and there's the README, and here is the script itself, and I made a bunch of changes in here today. So what we'll do is, to make this nice and easy, we will go directly to Git Kraken and we'll look at all of the diffs there, and I'll explain what's going on. We'll get those committed up to the project, so by the end of the stream this Desktopify version will be available for everyone to download and have a play with. Right, I'm trying to keep up with chat. Does SuperTuck Cart? We'll get to that. It's a good question, Cody, about SuperTuck's cart on the Pi, because this is going to get us 9/10 of the way to like full hardware acceleration. And there's a little nugget of information that we'll get to towards the end about where we go in that last 10%. Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. Welcome back to the stream. I work with Dave Jones. Dave Jones is a long time contributor in the Raspberry Pi community, and also one of my colleagues at Canonical now, working on Raspberry Pi stuff. Okay, so Itzwell says they've made a PR. I'll get to that after I've run through these. Okay, Poltelmai, is that how I pronounce that? All good? Welcome to the stream. DJ Daz, welcome. Is the audio out of sync again? Let me know about the audio sync in chat. It's variable as to how that works out. I'm not sure what I'll do about that if that's out of whack. All right, okay. So let's take a little look at the changes we've got lined up. So the first one is just a simple typo. So let's get that done. Glad that audio's fine for you, Pear. Thank you for that. Trooper says it's half a second out. Audio's fine for me, says Ali. Ed says it's fine. Okay. Some of you reporting it's not fine probably means it's a bit out. I'm not sure what I can do about that now I'm into it, but we'll just press on. Right then. This was just a typo. No big win there, so let's just get that done. Right then, this is the first big one. So the lines we're interested in here are these. So in Ubuntu, we now have this separation from the main boot configuration and user configuration. So you can override some of the boot parameters by using user cfg.txt. And the first line that we have there is to disable the overscan, so you get the full HD output, something that I've struggled with. The next thing we're going to do is enable the so-called fake KMS driver. This gives us, this enables a large part of the 3D pipeline on the Raspberry Pi 2, 3 and 4. We're then going to allocate some GPU memory. 128 meg should be fine for most people most of the time, but if you're going to use a Raspberry Pi camera, you'll want to bump that up to 256 meg, providing you can afford that for your model of Pi. And the last line here, HDMI drive. HDMI drive equals 2 sends the audio out over HDMI. And I forget who it was that mentioned in chat before the stream started about using Desktopify and not having output. Let me see if I can figure out who that was very quickly. Warren Evans, there we go. That's the line that will fix the issue that you were having, so hopefully that should fix the output there. So that's the hardware enablement piece. This next line here, we're basically adding a few parameters to the kernel, and the most important ones here are to get Plymouth working and to disable the kernel logging at boot and enable the splash screen. And then we have a few lines here, and these are important. This is enabling hardware acceleration in Firefox, the browser. So Ubuntu Mate already has some default overrides for Firefox to enable things like our own custom start page and things like that. So if it detects you're building an image for installing this and you've selected Ubuntu Mate, it will append to the existing configuration that Ubuntu Mate has to enable the hardware acceleration in Firefox. And if you're not building on Ubuntu Mate, then it will scaffold a default configuration override to enable the hardware configuration in Firefox. So that kind of summarizes that piece together. So we'll stage that and we'll get that all committed up. I can see people chatting in the chat here, so let's just see if I can catch up. Yes, pressing on, Trooper. Right, I'm glad to hear audio is okay for most people most of the time. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can allocate 2 gig of RAM to the 8 gig model for video. Dave Jones is in the chat. He will be able to answer that question. He would know better than anyone, I think. HDMI audio is great, but what about aux? Yes, you know, you can output over the auxiliary audio as well. Right, okay, so that is the change that we have queued up here. So we will just document this change. We will say, I also hear from, I'll tell you what, I'm going to name drop. I had a conversation with Evan Upton on Friday. I hear that the KMS driver for Raspberry Pi is very close these days. So the FKMS driver's days are numbered. But for the time being, it's still the best option that we have. So we'll be using it. But I'm looking forward to the day when we can move over to the full-on KMS version. Right, enable FKMS driver. Right then, that's that change. Right then, what do we have here? Right, okay, here are... So I mentioned earlier that in Igor's post on Dido Amido, he installs a whole bunch of dev packages to turn on hardware acceleration? Well, that's a whole bunch of stuff there, a lot of which regular users don't need. So I've broken that down into these 3 packages that actually provide the user space that helps Firefox with the hardware acceleration. So it's GLES1, an OpenGL user space driver, and XVMC. So those are the additions to that module there. And looking at this, I also restructured some of the output. So I'm just going to stage this for the moment. So those are the lines that are relevant for that particular change. So here we go. Oh, user space. There we go. So that's that done. Next we have, okay, so this was actually, it doesn't change anything, it's just a refactoring. So we will stage all of that. And that is just a refactor of testing for desktop environments. Okay, right. I'm going to push all of that up to GitHub. Oh, actually, no, let's not do that. So if I just go back to VS Code, I made a few list of things we needed to work on earlier. So disable overscan, we have now done. Enable the FKMS driver, we've done. Enable the boot splash, we've done. Enable Firefox hardware acceleration. Done all of those things. So let's move those into the list of stuff that's been accomplished and get that added into the mix. So okay. Whoa. Huh. Keyboard inverted. Oh goodness, can't type this evening. Must have something to do with the carver. Okay, there we go. That's that done. Right, I'm gonna see how things are going in chat. So DJazz says, I don't think you can go above 700 meg, something for the GPU, but it doesn't matter. V3D doesn't use GPA-mem anyway. Okay. Trooper, glad you're enjoying looking at, you know, what we're working on here. Hopefully there's something for people to learn who are interested in Raspberry Pi and, you know, Ubuntu or Linux in general. Yeah, it's so DJazz goes on to say that the GPU mem is for video decoding, which is why we've enabled it, and we'll see that a bit later. The camera and GLSE2, yeah. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the stream. I don't recall seeing your name before. Apologies if you have been here before, but welcome. Hello, Marius. Welcome back. Marius Quebec for German language speakers is the editor, owner, CEO, I don't know if that's the right term, of NerdZoom Media. So if you're a German language speaker, you want to go and look up nerdzoom.de and their equivalent YouTube channel. Right, Big Pod says, I think me trying to make a snap package just crashed my server. Well, I will get to that. I have a Snapcraft YAML for this, so you can take a look at that. DJazz says, is Mesa compiled with v3d2? So, I tell you what, let's cover this off now, seeing as though that question's come up. This is only going to get us so far because there is a bug currently in the kernel in Ubuntu which is preventing the full bring up of GPU acceleration. And it's one bug and it's literally a clock configuration issue, and we understand what the issue is and we're going to get it fixed. So this won't bring up everything, this will bring up about 2/3 of what you can enable. But yes, the user space in Ubuntu 20.04 and newer is fully enabled for v3d. So DJazz, I think you'll understand the words I've just said there and take good heart from that. But yes, all of those bits in Mesa are enabled. We've got a kernel bug that's preventing the rest of the bring up at the moment. First name, last name, nom de plume perhaps, says, will hardware acceleration be for 64-bit? Yes, it will eventually. The Raspberry Pi Foundation and us are working towards full enablement on 64-bit. It's something that everyone's working towards. Somewhat delayed, it's coming. So Marius says he's looking forward to every improvement for Ubuntu on the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, for those of you that are new here, I work for Canonical. That's my day job. I work on the desktop team and other teams. And Canonical is working very hard to make sure that Ubuntu is the best that it can be on the Raspberry Pi. And the work that you see me doing here is no coincidence. That, you know, this is not just personal interest, but it also overlaps into real work as well. So yeah, we're actively working on a whole bunch of things to improve Ubuntu's experience on the Raspberry Pi, whether that be server or desktop. Is there any way to run Ubuntu Desktop Lite on the Raspberry Pi? Nrai asks. Well, so my passion project is Ubuntu Mate, and if you want Ubuntu Desktop Lite for the Raspberry Pi, then Ubuntu Mate is probably where you should go for that. And I'll show you that a little bit later. Big Pod says you're trying to set up your own automatic builders. So Big Pod is trying to set up automatic builders for snaps. Big Pod, take a look in the Snap store for a tool. In fact, I'm not going to tell you to take a look. I'm going to show you. Let's all learn together. So, Big Pod wants to build snaps on his own builders. So let's look at how we do that. There are a number of ways to automate building, but Big Pod specifically has a requirement to build on his own system. So you want this tool here, Fabrica. Fabrica is a self-hosted Snap build server, and you can hook it up to your source code repositories and it will automatically build when you have code changes. And if you want some insight into how to do all of that stuff, then gosh, am I going to be able to find this? Oh, I've accidentally jumped to a specific article. I didn't mean to do that. That's obviously an article I was very interested in, given my day job. In fact, it might be easier to look on Snapcraft's blog, actually. Let's do that. Right, Big Pod. Oh, it's the URL. That, maybe. There we go. Right then, let me have a little look here. Fabrica, here we go. So on the Snapcraft.io blog, this is the same Igor who I was referring to earlier from Dido Emidio. He wrote a blog post a month ago now, all about Fabrica. So there you go, Big Pod. Everything you need to know about setting up your own Snap builders. Sorry, that was a little diversion there, specifically for Big Pod. Let's get back on topic. Also, for those of you that are new to these streams, These streams are for everyone in chat. You know, we're a little band of enthusiasts, and people ask questions, and we try and help everyone out. So, I think we're set now, right? We've done all of that, so let's push those up to the repo. Right, that's done. So everyone has access to that version of Desktopify now. And Big Pod, here is the Snapcraft YAML for Desktopify. As you can see, 19 lines, not very big. Now, it has to be a classic snap because of what it does. You know, it's obviously bootstrapping and installing packages, or at least shelling out to install packages. So it needs to be a classic snap. But that's how you snap any shell script, really, that needs to be classically confined. So we'll get that staged up. We'll stage that file. And we'll, while we're here, there we go, let's get that done as well. And what I'll do is probably later this week, much later this week, like Thursday, I'll get that all submitted so we can start publishing that in the Snap Store, because it'll be way easier to just snap install Desktopify and then run it rather than having to, you know, git clone it and all the rest of it. Right, okay. That's good. We'll push that up as well. I think we're in good shape there. So that's the code review. Hopefully that all made sense. Right, I just need to scroll back a bit. I think I missed a couple of bits in the chat. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's Wells. I'm just catching up. Sorry. Yeah, so It's Wells is working on the Ubuntu Cinnamon remix. Pretty great. Okay. Rachel. Hello, Rachel, again. What have we got here? So Rachel makes the assertion that without any data, she thinks that the Chromium snap is probably the most used snap by end users. It's not. I do have access to that data, the privilege of my job, which I can't share, obviously. But no, surprisingly, it's not the Chromium snap. So, think on. Right then, let's just switch to this one here. Here we go. Right. Oh my gosh, there are 90 people watching live. How fabulous. Welcome, everyone. If you're new here, do introduce yourself in chat, or chat. There we go, in chat. Do say hello. It's not PyCharm either, it swells. Keep guessing. And it's not VS Code either. Right, hello Matthew, welcome to the stream. If you're new here, please do consider you know, subscribing or liking this video. It always helps with discovery. So what's the next thing we're going to do? We are going to go to this view here. No, not that one, not yet. We'll come to this view later. We're going to do this one. So I have a couple of Raspberry Pi here. I've got a 4 gig Raspberry Pi with a card in it, and this has got a card that I installed earlier, and I ran this version of Desktopify we've just submitted to GitHub on this to bring up Ubuntu Mate on a 4 gig Raspberry Pi. So we're going to run that one up in a moment. And if we get time, this is an 8 gig Raspberry Pi. In fact, this is my engineering sample from the Pi Foundation. An 8 gig Pi with Ubuntu Desktop installed using this version of Desktopify. So without further ado, let's get some things plugged in over here. So we've got our HDMI there. We've got Ethernet here. And that's power. We'll come back to that because I should have put these in a more... I have to do this weird thing now. So this is my second mouse. This is a wireless mouse, and I have a second keyboard here, which we'll just turn on and put there. So this keyboard and this mouse are now connected to that Raspberry Pi, which if I now switch to this view will power up. So I've just plugged it in. Hopefully this will power on, and we should get Ubuntu Mate with all of those hardware tweaks that we've just turned on. Now, earlier on I did say we've got a kernel bug, so not all of the stuff will come up yet. It will be fixed and it will come out through the regular updates. The changes that we have in Desktopify now mean that when that kernel update lands, everything is set up to work. So when that kernel update lands, the full hardware pipeline will get turned on. Anyway, here we go. Booting. This is encouraging. Check it out. There we go. Right then. Oh, that's not my password. It's a different password on these Raspberry Pi images. So, what can we do? I think what we'll do is we'll just bring up Firefox, because that's where the most of these changes are relevant for the moment. So if we start, we don't need this. So we'll just start Firefox, and to demonstrate that this stuff works. So if we do about config, I accept the risks. I am a professional, so I would have you all believe. Right, this is it enforce? No. Oh, it's force. I can't remember what the flag is. Let's oh, hello. I didn't mean to do that. Right then, here we go. So this is the setting I've highlighted in blue there. That's the setting which is set to true now because of the overrides that existed that we've added to Desktopify. So if we now go to about support, we can confirm that those have all been correctly applied by looking in this graphics section, and it says compositing OpenGL, and without the tweaks that we've just done, that would say compositing basic, which would mean you don't get any acceleration at all. So let's I'm going to try something I've not actually tried here, so let's see if this works. That's the wrong, I'm moving the wrong mouse. Did you see that? That's me moving the wrong mouse. So we'll go to the official, the reason I'm picking this, I hate this video, it gets used for everything, but there's a reason I'm choosing it, because I know it's available in different resolutions and what have you. So I'll just change this to 1080, 1080p 60. That's not going to work, I don't think. So the way things are set up at the moment, I would not expect 1080p 60 to work. I would expect 1080p 30 to work. So let's this is running 720p 60. Oops. Let's do stats for nerds. Now you're going to see some choppiness because I'm running all of this through a capture device over USB, so it's not going to be perfect. But if we look at the stats for nerds, we can see some frame drops there. So it looks like, oh no, that's now calmed down. So the choppiness you're seeing is, oh no, it doesn't like 60, does it? It doesn't like 720p 60. So let's try. Let's just go to the YouTube homepage. Let's think now. What can we find that is 720 30 or 1080p 30? This is always dangerous, playing something live on YouTube. Let's see if we can find something in here that meets our requirements. Oh wow, they do lots of stuff by the looks of it. I'm going to struggle to find what I want here, aren't I? Official Blender Open Movies. Let's take a look in here, see if we can find anything. Coffee Run. What's this running at? 720. Okay. So that is running at 720. Any lag you're seeing is due to my capture, but that hasn't dropped any frames there, so that's definitely an improvement. And all of this is kind of not fully enabled right now because we know the full GPU pipeline isn't turned on right now, and this is the best that we can do until those last kernel fixes land. Hello Chad, thank you for the sub, and also thank you for starting the sub train. Little Tux is making his way to Big Tux. Anyone else that subs will keep the sub train going. So that's working pretty well. Let me just have a little look in chat. Let's move back here because yes, LLVM. So DJazz is. You're right. I'm trying to explain. We know it's not fully turned on yet. It will be in due course. Yeah. Well, in real life it was. Well, it's going through a capture device, but in real life it's just fine. If you look at those ETA Prime and Lee PSP videos that I linked to earlier, they demonstrate it very well. Shows that it's actually working quite nicely. I'm just catching up, I guess, after Rolling Rhino. Snappy Snake, Philip SB, maybe. Right then. So Marius says that at this rate he'd be installing his Raspberry Pi every weekend. Now, you don't need to do that. If you update your Pi using Desktopify now, just through regular apt updates, you'll get all of the rest of the good stuff that I've explained we're working on. And hopefully in due course we'll have pre-install, pre-prepared images with all of this stuff baked in. So that's where we're headed with this stuff. Big Pod got his server fixed. That's good. Hello, Monica. Welcome back to the stream. Monica is one of the Ubuntu Mate contributors. Right. Okay. That, I think, kind of sums up. So Pear says, you've got no idea how excited I am for a fully mature Mate on this SBC. Yeah, me too. Looking forward to it. Yeah, so yes, Marius is asking, do they just need to apt update upgrade? Providing you use the version of Desktopify I have just pushed up to GitHub, from that point forwards, you'll be able to get the rest of the updates through regular updates and upgrades. However, if you use Desktopify prior to today and you hadn't done any of those manual changes that I've just built in, you'll need to make those manually so that then you can update and get them, pick the updates, the upgrades with the kernel fixes and what have you. I think. Oh, the Hungry Horace. Thank you very much. I need to fix my YouTube alerts, but the Hungry Horace, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm some pounds better off. How am I going to put that to good use to make something cool on the channel? If anyone has got ideas about particularly Raspberry Pi projects, I've got some ideas how I can put that to good use. Thank you, Hungry Horace. I really appreciate that. This is most unexpected. I didn't expect people to tip in this way. It was I enabled it because it was a thing that we got recently. I thought that people would use it to, like, throw $1 in for a question that I'd missed in the chat to get my attention. But you're very kind. Thank you for those of you that have done super chats this evening. Yes, Cubicle. Oh, hello, Cubicle Nate. Welcome to the chat. I was watching your video earlier, or last couple of videos that you've been doing. So Cubicle Nate's got a channel. If you're an OpenSUSE user, you want to check that out. Cubicle Nate says, put it towards a Pine something. I'm rather spoiled. I have most of the Pine things already because Lukash at Pine64 has sent things to me. Listen to an upcoming Ubuntu podcast to find out more. If you're new here, I'm a co-host on the Ubuntu podcast, and yeah, we'll be doing a Pine special coming up soon. Trooper says, buy 2 beers for the next stream. No, I wouldn't use any of the money for something as frivolous as that. I totally want to use it to make interesting projects and stuff that people are interested in seeing, or a project that maybe you would like to make and you don't know where to start, and maybe I can show you. But I've got some ideas. Cubicle Nate, the Pine Time. Yeah, so the Pine Time is their watch that Pine make. One of my colleagues has been all over the Pine Time. I think he bought 6. I spoke to him in January and a couple of times since, and he's done all sorts of stuff with the Pine Time. We should probably get him on to talk about that. But yeah, they are pretty cool devices, I have to say. No. I will buy my own beers for sure. I'll definitely use any super chat money or any ad revenue that this channel generates to buy things that people in our community here want to see created. And I keep looking over here because down here I have a small desk. Maybe I should show you some of the things I've got in mind. Should we do that? I'll show you some of the projects that I intend to make already. These are ones I've got planned. So, This is the high quality camera kit for the Raspberry Pi. So these are the lenses. I've got an idea. So as you will have seen, I have this overhead cam, which is using a Logitech C920. And I thought, wouldn't it be grand if made my own camera to go up there out of a Raspberry Pi. So we've got those camera lenses. So that's something I'd like to make, is a Raspberry Pi webcam. And then I made a project years ago, like at least 2 years ago. I'm gonna have to do this. Whoa! Oh crikey! As the camera falls over. Dunk. So I have one of these. I made a Super Nintendo emulator out of a Pi about 3 years ago. And it's a 3D printed case, so I want to revisit that one. So I've got one of those. But I thought, I never had a Nintendo. So I should probably make one of these. Which is, oops, upside down. Which is the NES Pi. So that's a project I want to have a go at. So that's another one. And I've got, you know, matching controllers for those. But then I absolutely used to love this console. I never owned one, but one of my best friends did. So this is the Sega Mega Drive. It was known as over here, at least. So I want to make a Mega Drive out of a Raspberry Pi, and to go with that, I have some officially licensed USB Mega Drive controllers. And I want this because I used to go to my mate's house all the time to play Sonic the Hedgehog. So I want to make my own console for me and my daughter to play Sonic and Tails and all the rest of it. So those are a few of the things, and in fact here is the oh dear, this is, there we go. There's the high quality camera module that goes with those lenses that I showed earlier. So this plus the other things to make a Raspberry Pi camera for up there. That would be something I want to have a go at. And then there's a few other things sitting on that desk over there that I won't share right now, because why give it all away? Why give all the ideas away just now? But there's some of the things that I want to have a go at working on. And I've got, I don't know, 10 or so other ideas. I've got a really exotic thing coming from America, or Canada, it's coming from Canada, for another project I want to work on with the Pi. Hello Tom, welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it. Hang on, Big Pod has got loads of emoji. I'll just allow that through in the chat. So, oh, Pair Computers, thank you very much for the super chat. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. So, you've seen some of the things I've already got coming up. Those will be videos as opposed to live streams like this. I'm going to start doing some pre-recorded videos, tight, much shorter than these live streams, in order to, you know, share some ideas. And predominantly I'll be doing most of this stuff using Ubuntu, either Ubuntu Core or Ubuntu Classic on the Raspberry Pi. Partly because Ubuntu is great on the Raspberry Pi now, and you can do loads of cool stuff with it. So I want to, you know, enjoy using my operating system of choice on the Raspberry Pi. So Pair Computers, thank you very much. I do have an idea for a project I'd really like to do, and I don't have the kit for it. So I think this evening's super chat may be enough to cover it. And if it is, I'll let you know in a future stream, and or in the community tab of this channel, if there's enough money saved up for that, I will use the money for this other idea. Anyway, going back through chat. Hello, Nikki G. Welcome to the channel. And Monica says, GoldenEye tournament. What was that on? Was that the N64? I don't think Yes, I think. Let me know. Was that Nintendo wasn't big in my life. It wasn't something I really got access to. Trooper, you must listen to the Ubuntu podcast with your jokes about egg and jam. Very good. Yes, so Monica says it was the N64. And Jim, hello, Jim Dumser, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Hello, Dan, how you doing? Yeah, so I think there was a lot of that, right? In the UK, there was a lot of people that had Mega Drives, and there was an awful lot of people that didn't. So everyone had like their Mega Drive buddy. I definitely had one of those. Since you use a lot of Ubuntu, maybe you could donate some to Ubuntu. So you're suggesting that maybe I get paid from the donations to the Ubuntu Community Fund, but I don't. So I'm paid by Canonical. That's a privately held company. If you donate to the Ubuntu Community Fund, you are funding the Ubuntu community, not people working at Canonical. Yeah, Sonic. Road Rash. That was great, wasn't it? Yeah, I found a game like that on Steam recently. It's brilliant. A Raspberry Pi barbecue. KZ 50 cent. That sounds an ambitious project. Interesting. But they're all good ideas. Yes, as Cubicle Nate says. Sonic and Echo. Oh, Echo the Dolphin. That was another great game on the Sega Mega Drive. Anyway, in a few weeks, I'm going to start doing the occasional live stream on Twitch. I like retro games, and I thought there's a good reason to get into some game streaming, to play some games that I loved from the past. You're not obliged to watch. I'm just gonna, if I'm gonna play a game, I may as well stream it. Why not? Oh, what's this? Apt install Oolite. Pair Computers recommends. What's that? Should I bring that up? Is that a joke or is that legit? Right. Okay. Well, Leroy says, did Google get a cut of the Super Chat cash? I have no idea. I'm brand new at this. We just got partner like a couple of days ago. I have no idea how it works. I turned on a bunch of things, and I'll probably have to twiddle them over time to dial them in to make it, sensible for everyone. So I don't know. We'll all learn together. I'm happy to share what I learn as we go along here. Something whilst people are here, I've been thinking about setting up a Discord for this channel and the people that are interested in what's going on here. Just give a thumbs up, thumbs down if you think that's a good idea or not in the chat. It's something I'm considering doing in a couple of weeks or so. But I was interested to know what people would think about that. Jungle Strike, Desert Strike, yes, Cubicle, those were also great games. Alex Kidd, yeah, Robert, yeah, you're dead right there. So Pair Computer says, what about making Unity work on 64-bit? I think Unity will work. So way back at a Raspberry Pi jam, this is going back at least 2 or 3 years, I got Unity 7, I think it was like Ubuntu 16.04, working on a Raspberry Pi 2. So I know it's doable. And there is an Ubuntu Unity remix now. So I think that's absolutely doable. I don't think that will require any significant work at all to get that to work. I'm seeing lots of thumbs up and happy faces. I think that means yes to a Discord from those of you that are expressing an opinion. It'll probably be a few weeks away because I want to do Discord right. I found out that Discord is way more sophisticated and flexible than I realised as a casual user. So yeah, I'm interested in setting one up and also using it as an opportunity to really properly learn it. So yeah, okay, that looks like a popular idea. So that's something we can go through for sure. More than happy to share what I learn as I go and on that journey as well. And Big Pod says he admins one, so okay, cool. Yes, I'll certainly be looking for people to help with that side of things as well. That would be helpful. And the other reason why I want to look into Discord is I want a place for the Ubuntu Mate team. We need a place to have voice chats from time to time to catch up on stuff, which I've been terrible at in recent weeks because I've been so astonishingly busy. But I'd also used to have a little carved out section there for the Ubuntu Mate team to have a chat. Hello, John Moore and Danesh and Joey. Gosh, there's so many of you in here. This is fabulous. Thank you all for stopping by. And clearly, a Discord is going to be a popular idea, so we'll totally do that. Hey, Farron, welcome back. How you doing? Ubuntu Martin for the win. Very good, Trooper. You followed all, you know, all the memes. That Ubuntu Martin one is going all the way back to System AU from years ago. So Itzwell says they've been a Discord user since 2017. I can help you start the server and set it up if you want. I'll bear that in mind, Itzwells. Thanks very much. Get some bots. Yes, so Ferren says get some bots like me, 6. So whilst I've been cooking and doing the shopping and stuff this weekend, I've been watching loads of videos about the various bots, and I've worked out that Me6, Yag PDB, Carlbot, is it Dinobot, and a couple of others. There seems to be sort of, you know, like half a dozen that are particularly excellent, and it also seems that one is not enough. You need like a selection of them. They all specialize in different areas. So yeah, I'm something I'm learning about. Pancake is a good bot too. Okay, I'll add that to the list to look into. Nikki says +1 for IRC. Yeah, I'm not doing IRC. It's time to move on. I've been using IRC since the 80s. I want something shiny. I want something with lots of emoji. That's why I want Discord. And Ferren, that's a kind offer as well. Thank you for the offer to help with the server. I'll bear all of this in mind. Yeah, for role assignments. Yeah, so some of the bots that I've been looking at do like role assignments and reaction roles and leveling up and stuff like that. These are all things I'm interested in. Are there any things we configure with Raspberry config? So, Joey Rockhold asks, are there things we can configure with Raspberry config that are not available for configuring when installing Ubuntu on the Raspberry Pi? So, we have been working on a tool a bit like Raspberry config, but different. And at some point in the future, you will find out about that, and that will be the way to do those similar kinds of configuration changes that you need without having to edit files by hand. I don't want to give too much more away than that, because one of my colleagues has been working on that for quite some time, and I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, watch this space. There's something coming. Yeah, Me6. So Ferren says Me6 and Yag PDB. Yeah, those are the two I see coming up. And Carlbot and Dino and something else. But Yag PDB looks particularly good. Me6 more for the leveling, I think. I do want Rhino. I have Rhino emoji. Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. Let's just get some Rhino emoji in the chat here. If I use the right keyboard. There we go. Rhino emoji. Also, better yet, gorilla emoji. Groovy Gorilla. That's where we are right now. It's the best name ever for an Ubuntu release. Right then. Okay. Thank you all for stopping by. I really appreciate the support, everyone. Thank you. It's very kind. And we'll leave it there for now. You can all dust off your Raspberry Pis and go and have a play with Desktopify. And I'm super busy for the next 5 days, so I probably won't be streaming again till Friday next week. But I am looking forward to revealing something exciting for the Raspberry Pi on Friday or maybe Saturday next week. So stick by for that one. Yes, everyone's posting the groovy, all the gorilla. Very good. Right then. Thank you, everyone. You're all fantastic. Thank you. Oh, I need to hit show in some of these things. I think there we go. Although it looks like the chat box is letting your stuff through. Yes, Monica, it will be worth the wait, and you will be the first to find out about it. So yeah, stand by the team chat for Ubuntu Mate people, because it's an Ubuntu Mate related Raspberry Pi thing. I wonder what that could be. Okay, right then, everyone. Thank you all for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.